guys, my name is Ali Games, and welcome back to Let's Play The Letter. Where we last left off, we are in the BRC building right now. We are trying to get as many names of people as we can who are somehow affiliated with the Ermengarde mansion. Anyone who visited the mansion, whether it was the open house, who worked on it, anyone. We found out three people that, or one person that Ashton remembers hearing about. It was an older woman, died of a heart attack in her sleep. She was 74, so it's one of those, okay, that could either have been from the curse, or it could have been just a simple, she died of old age, it happens. It happens to older people. Then the other guy, I forget what his last name was Jean-Marie. He was found dead in the office. This was something that was not even taken to the police. It never left the building. So even most of the employees didn't know, such as Isabella, because apparently he was the what was he? He was the oh my god, he was the appraiser, I think is what they said. He was the appraiser, and I guess Rose was looking for him and couldn't find him, and they found him. It was in the report, like in the files and the records, that he was found dead in the office, but nobody else knew. Didn't get to the police, didn't get to the the family knew, but I think they said they paid them money to keep them quiet about not mentioning it. And then another guy named Christian C, remember his last name? I think it was Christian C. He was arrested a few days ago, apparently for disturbance of the peace. Like, he was being, like, really loud and shit, maybe in his apartment building. Well, they arrested him, and he was acting crazy. They arrested him, took him to the precinct, to jail, and he bashed his head against the wall, saying he was seeing a woman. He's in the hospital now, but they're going to take him to a psychiatric ward after he heals, because he's still a little crazy. But anyways, we also kind of possibly learned that Isabella's father passed away. Now, this is whether it's a result of the curse or the fact that whatever illness he has affected him and finally took its toll. I don't know. It's one of the two. It's the thing with the old lady. It's like she could have died from either one. And then also, there's also another name, Beatrice Wild. She went missing, and they never found her. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and read the new journal. Okay. To confirm their suspicions, Isabella helped Ashton break into the Briar Realty Corporation's Luxport office that night. There, the files they found revealed the real deal with the mansion's sale that was unknown to even Isabella, and something possibly more terrible. Excuse me, and Briar Realty is just covering everything up, just everything. But I don't know if it's because they want to keep their face to look good, or if something else is going on. I'm not too sure just yet. I've gotten so used to letting her babble away whenever it's just the two of us. What she has to say has always felt more interesting than what I can come up with. Never the talker I am, always content in simply listening. I can tell, however, she wants to do more beyond digging through private records and photocopying personnel files. She wants to fix whatever mess this is herself, and that desire makes her antsy. But at the same time, she's learning... Did I hit? Yes, I did. I'm sorry. But at the same time, she's learning how not to be impulsive or stubborn. And I'm sorry I keep doing that. I keep like, did I record? Did I hit record? I can't remember. But whatever. It is what it is, I guess. Exactly as I have told her yesterday, before agreeing to any of this. Or maybe those so-called changes have always been with her. Dire situations have always pushed people beyond what they're comfortable with, after all. Excuse me, to do things they normally won't. To show a side of them they usually don't. To change. It's not something I will ever blame her for. I understand in some odd way. I've been in the same position before. Though seeing this happen in front of me only makes it difficult to find the proper things to say. In an atmosphere this tense and charged, while knowing what might be looming over us, what is left for us to talk about? Certainly not the news. It's not as if there is a lack of effort on my part. It's just that, well, not everything sounds as neatly as it does in my head once the words slip past my lips, blunt as they often are. And sometimes, too much effort brings the opposite effect. It gets worse when you only realize all this in hindsight, right after your mouth has already ran ahead of any decently strong thought.
You know, for a house your company seems to be in a hurry to sell, they still made quite a fortune out of it. Look at this. 1, 2, 3... 6. Are you sure they're planning to give your entire share for this? This isn't a small amount, especially given the usual cut. And their accounting department isn't in the greatest shape either.
Even if they don't, it's not like someone still needs it.
Suddenly, the sound of the copier's cover slamming down echoes through the room, drowning out the rest of her voice, weak as it is. And there's no reason why people don't let me talk. A quiet once again descends throughout the whole room, though denser, compared to the ones we shared tonight. Behind me, I can still hear her movements, sharp and precise while she feeds the original copies to the machine. Probably the last one from the ones I've handed her. Then with one last beep, all of it stops. Her feet shuffles lightly against the floor when she moves away. Something creaks softly, probably the table, as she settles her weight against its side. By this time, an apology is already at the tip of my tongue. It never makes it out, though.
Belle,
Papa's gone, Ash.
A quiet admission, from every syllable spoken under her breath, almost like a secret she has never intended for anyone to hear. But in those few words, in those scant few seconds, everything between us shifts as the gravity of each sinks. Right then and there, something harsh and immovable rises between us. Death is something I'm familiar with. Almost 10 years in the police force, and it's impossible not to be aware of it in some capacity. But this is different than those dead bodies we examined in forensics. A far cry from the victims we found on a bad investigation. Those I can easily distance myself from. No emotional detachments, no need for pretenses. I can do the same thing here, in fact. I never met the man. I've only heard of him from Isabella. What he sounds like when he reprimands her, what makes him tick, or what his habits are, she has left them for me to imagine. Yet somehow, I still find myself grasping for things to tell her, any word of comfort that'll dull the pain. Because even without looking at her, her grief feels palpable enough. Her pain an immutable weight hanging over us. So gently I offer, tell me about him. Tell me about your dad. Yeah.
Huh? When what?
Your dad. I mean, when did you find out?
She does not answer. Not immediately, anyway. And for a lingering moment, the hush simply stretches out before us. Spanning across the minutes, the seconds, we let pass while we both simply stand there, waiting. Unmoving, without exchanging anything else except for soft sighs and gentle breaths. Eventually, she exhales. Lightly, muted enough that I might have missed it, had I not been paying attention to her every movement.
Yesterday, around 3 in the afternoon there, Mama called. She told me he passed away in his sleep, and I guess I can take comfort in that, huh? That Papa wasn't in any pain when...
She trails off, releases another ragged breath hidden underneath her chuckles, each one mirthless, heavy with nothing but sorrow. Then she falters into silence, and for all my attempts at lightening her burden, I'm suddenly at a loss. Reassurances can only do so much, when her only reason for staying here has been taken from her. A hope abruptly yanked from under her feet, right after it's been generously given, and without that, without the one person that pushes her to endure all of the shit we're going through, what she's going through, means nothing but a struggle. What does one say to a person fraying at the edges, slowly wearing thin and breaking? Are words even enough? What right do I have anyway? I cannot give her anything, apart from lies that has utterly changed me as a person, an affection she may or may not even want for herself. Because no matter how easily she has wormed herself into our lives, how immutable her presence has become, her own heart will always yearn for something else. For home.
Tell me about him.
Huh? About what?
Your dad. Tell me about him. Anything. Just talk. Say anything you want. Doesn't matter what it is. I'll listen.
Silence again. For many minutes. As if she's testing the weight of my question. For what purpose it is. For a reason even I can't offer right now. After a while though, she starts. Reluctantly, her voice hitching, faltering, and stumbling on each syllable as she chooses her words. A rough start, but soon it steadies. And along with it, to keep company the stories from childhood and memories she's fond of are the tears. Despite this, in spite of the grief choking her words off, the hurt closing her throat, and the sobs racking her lithe form, she continues. But the mere act of speaking is a relief in itself. A release. She tells of her father, the very person who named her, how she looked up to him, how she was a bit of a tomboy growing up in her attempts to imitate him, and how the man has encouraged her to pursue what she really desired for herself. Perhaps even the only thing she ever did, having grown up not wanting anything more than to put food on their tables.
He told me I don't have to listen to them. That I can do what I want. Every day, he'd wake up at 4, Ash. Because he'd earn more that way. And every time, every single time, he'd give them to me. Whatever extra he earned, he'd hand them all. So I'd have something to use for my paintings. And you know what? Back home, just a good tube of paint costs almost as much as what we spend for food the whole day.
Damn.
But he'd always set something aside. Told me he wanted to see my paintings in a museum one day.
She pours all of it out, every little thing she has loved and admired about him. And like this, it's easy to see why she has gone such great lengths for him. Why'd she leave her dreams? Why she went against his wishes, just to grant him another chance at life? Others will say it's her warmth that draws people to her, or her cheer. Either are wrong, but neither is the whole truth to her either. Because those who had never bothered to look beyond the surface will never see it. See her. See someone earnest, someone who has always meant well, albeit her underlying stubbornness. This is how she loves, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. You never meet many people like that, not in my line of work. Not with the kind of people I have to deal with. I've always had something to hide, always with something to lie about. Eventually, when you run across too many of them, you change. You become like them. In many ways. For a lot of reasons. She's the kind of person I want to be and be around with.
He didn't want me to leave. Said, begged, I could finish my studies first. In the end, I couldn't even grant him that one request. I'm a terrible daughter, aren't I?
Oh, no.
You're not.
Huh?
You're not. I can't speak for your dad. I haven't even met the man. But I know you're not.
I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this. The remark just came out. Now I'm stringing all of these together as I go. But one thing is certain about all of this. None of what I'm about to say is a lie.
The Isabella I know is a total klutz, but I've never seen anyone work as hard as she does. She's the type who wears her heart on her sleeve, though it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's always in the right place. She's intimidated by a lot of stuff, but she knows how to appreciate the smallest things in life. Frankly, you've caused us no small amount of trouble since you barged into our lives. But when I'm with you, all of my worries seem trivial.
Heat has already crept up my face when it registers. The whole turn this thing is about to take. Before I blurt the rest of it out, declare feelings I'm not even ready to reveal to anyone, much less to her, my hand comes up to smother the rest of it. Though embarrassment quickly takes the reins before I can completely clamp my mouth shut.
And I'm pretty sure Zach and Becca think the same way. You have a nasty way of growing on people like that, and you know what? We got everything we needed in here. I'll just wipe the security recordings and we're good to go. While I'm at it, you better wipe the snot off your face. And you don't look very nice when you're balding like that.
Hastily gather everything. The personal files, client documents, sales agreements, and contracts. Anything my hands can get a hold of from the table. Blech. In record time, it's all been stacked into a neat pile, ready for storage. I'm carrying the entirety of me back to the records room. Wherever that is. It should be an easy find, unless this place is a maze of some sort, which I highly doubt, since still beats staying here and seeing the look on her face. Especially in case Isabella has heard the last bit of what I've almost let slip. Crap. Really, her anger's still bearable. I can take that, including the glower she sends me, right before I take my leave.
So, yeah, I'll go get the security videos and put these back where you pulled them from. Man, these are heavy, you know?
Ash, it's just paper. You don't even know where I...
Oh, no, I can handle
Oh
this.
god, the
Easy as
embarrassment just
pie.
oozing
And,
from him.
Yeah, security cams, tapes, videos, cams. Yeah, I'm off.
Her rejection at this point? Maybe not yet. Getting the files back to BRC's archive room is a cinch. With the documents in its place on one of the labeled shelves, I locked the door behind me, tugging it twice just to make sure. Now on to the next order of business. Removing the evidence of our little excursion here, or at the very least, the parts showing what we've been doing the past hour. Either way, we can't have our faces plastered on security footage, showing us breaking the law as it were. I'm gonna have to wet the data for Isabella's access card entries too. Surprisingly, finding the security room proves a breeze. What will be tricky is getting inside. The fact that no one has walked out during the whole time we've been here means the room is either empty or the security is sound asleep. I'm banking more on the former. If they're cutting corners and firing agents, I have no doubt in my mind that they fired the guy stationed here. If they have anyone watching the monitors in the first place. It's a rather common thing for establishments. Just leave security recording indefinitely and only check the footage if something actually happens. Just to check, I press my ears against the door, listening for a sign of anyone occupying the room. After a long minute of nothing, not even the sound of someone's breathing, I get the doorknob a few rattles.
Standard lock and key. Should be easy enough to pick.
We have lockpick sets, but those are only used if necessary, and with a search warrant. Even then, it's a skill set rarely needed. Subtlety isn't on a cost priority if they have authority to search their premises. Bolt cutters and brute force are the favorite methods. If those fail, we call a locksmith. Me? I prefer the good old hairpin trick when those options are available. Besides, they're easy to hide and store for emergencies. Running my hand through my hair, I pull out a pair of bobby pins. 2 of these and I can just open about any standard lock. One makes a lever and the other makes a handle. I won't call it a complex skill, but it certainly takes time and a lot of practice to successfully pick a lock. Good thing I practiced with them for a bit in my college years. I've learned more when they're accessible and standard issue for a law enforcement officer. Plus, he also had plenty of time to practice breaking into Zach's apartment. We'll go here, I click there, and I managed to seize all the pins in the locking mechanism soon enough. With a slight turn of the knob, the security room's ripe for the picking. Oh, I don't like this at all. I don't like the shadow thing right there. Just saying. That looks kind of creepy too. The room's odor hits me first. A sharp, nauseating stench, as if someone has accidentally spilled a gratuitous gallon of bleach in the room. When was the last time they opened this place?
Ugh, this place smells awful. Jesus, it's worse than the forensics lab on a bad day.
Probably because of a badly botched effort to clean this place up. Even in the dark, I can spy disgusting stains on the walls. I really don't have the time to try and decipher what they are, though. I don't have time to play this ketchup or soda right now. Or is this ketchup or soda? But I have this strange gut feeling who this mess might belong to. As expected, no security personnel means the office CCTV controls and the standalone DVR setup is open for anyone. Normally, I'd have a heap of things to say about this sloppy security setup, but right now, Yonaga just makes the whole task of erasing evidence easier. It's as simple as going into the menu, searching for the file for today's recording, and, well, deleting it.
No fuss, no muss.
The next one should be the access card data. Hopefully getting into their computer won't be too much of a hassle. Everything up to now has been smooth sailing. There have been hiccups, I'll give it that, though it does nothing to dampen the good mood I'm in. Once I shift my attention to the machine sitting next to the DVR setup, all of it swiftly evaporates. I am no computer buff, but I can definitely recognize one more than a decade old. Simply look at it makes me feel younger. I have no other choice, however. With a heavy sigh, I power it up and mentally prepare myself for a slow slug. Slow, apparently, remains an understatement here. It takes a whole 3 minutes for the thing to start up. The OS hasn't even started loading, and in my boredom, I started inspecting the live feed from the cams. Only 2 of them works. One for the view outside, everything seems to be in order there, and the other for the main workspace where Isabella. It's a fleeting glimpse, a cursory glance, but the sight of it stops me. Oh no! The image is a bit blurry, but standing there, right in the middle of the room by one of the cubicles, I can make out the form of a person. aside from Isabella.
What the hell is...
I don't get too far into that line of thought, though. No, a few seconds after my work test slipped out, without any sort of warning, while I'm still trying to make sense of what it is, the figure moves. Okay, so the screen's zooming in. I don't like it. Not across the office floor, but right towards the camera. Gradually, as it nears, her features grow clearer. Deathly pale skin and hair like ink, too real and too close, stands out in stark contrast to the artificial images shown on the monitor. A moment of paralysis. Oh my god. A moment of paralysis hits me when she stops right in front of the camera. Like a damn rookie, I go in still in the face of danger. Nothing but an odd clicking noise and the pounding of my own heart echoes in my eardrums. I definitely haven't been trained to handle the supernatural, and this is one, isn't it? And, oh fuck. Her eyes bore into me, the malice in them, piercing. Even beyond the screen, it's enough to make me go numb. Only the mug crashing to the floor, but my hand accidentally swipes it, snaps me out of the trance, reminding me that I'm not the only one here. Isabella. Her form on the screen suggests she hasn't noticed anything. Am I the only one witnessing this? In any case, whatever's happening, I have to get her out. Gathering my wits, I quickly reach for my phone and dial her number, while keeping an eye on the figure staring back at me. It takes all but 2 seconds before she answers, though there's no time for relief.
Ashton? Did you really have to call? We're practically on the same floor.
Get out of there.
What? What are you...
Out. Get out. I'll meet you in the elevator.
You're creeping me out, Ash.
Just get yourself out of that place, now!
I end the call with a click, and without second thought, I back away from the controls, from the room, ready to be done with this place. But before my foot even crosses the threshold, without any sort of warning, she disappears from the screen.
Son of a...
Fuck! Instinct instantly takes over, and my hand quickly reaches for the gun at my side, only to meet empty air. Don't authorize, I always leave it in my car. A mistake that cost me a few precious seconds, while the paperwork I brought with me threatens to scatter everywhere at the same time. Gathering them in myself once more, with no weapon to protect myself, my sense of self-preservation kicks in next, and I lunge towards the door. Okay. I sprint across the office floor without daring to look back. Isabella's already waiting in front of the elevators by the time I push myself out of their office. Worry creases her eyebrows upon glancing at me, but I don't have time to answer the question in her eyes. As soon as I reach her, I grab her arm, practically throw the two of us into the open elevator, and slam the button up for the ground floor. A sigh of relief escapes my lips when the elevator starts its descent. The clicking noise that seems to announce the ghost's presence fades off into the distance. Why is that myself there? Beside me, Isabella shifts, moving the stack of papers under her arm while she takes in my appearance. Concerns in her eyes, though all I offer her is a small gesture of my hand, while attempting to compose. Oh, that's where the myself is supposed to be. Okay. Breathe. In, out.
Why are we in such a hurry?
Ghost! Ghost is why!
We need to get out of this place. Did you get everything?
Yeah, it's all here. But really, you don't look too good. What's wrong, Ash?
I'll be fine. I was in the security room. From the monitors, there was a fucking...
Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Oh, no. The rest of what I'm about to say dies on my tongue when the elevator stops and the doors open. Instead of stopping at the ground floor, however, it completely skips and just drops us into the building's basement. There's a moment's pause when we both take in our surroundings. Confusion's understandably there.
Oh, come on! They should just replace this whole thing.
No, I'm quite sure I pressed for the ground floor.
Right? But just as Isabella says, it's an old building and the elevator always did have problems when I visited in the past. It probably didn't register it right. Even Isabella becomes so angry whenever we try to get to her floor, and she'll have to repeatedly smash the button for the elevator to even move. That was always good for a laugh. I wasn't too worried then. All of it completely changes, no! When we hear a clicking noise again. From the distance, beyond the light's reach, echoing in my ears along with the rapid pounding in my chest. Isabella stiffens. Her eyes grow wide and her whole body freezes at the sound. Gingerly, she reaches out to grab the hem of my sleeve and grips it. Hard, tight enough for her fingernails to dig through the material. But we have a way out. I have no doubt she'd run it right this instant. As it is, the only thing she can do is hold on to me, her eyes searching wildly for the source of the sound, while I stand protectively in front of her.
Ash, did you hear that?
Anyone there?
No answer.
I can hear you moving from here. Show yourself.
No response. Only the soft sound of something scurrying around the floor and the walls in slow, deliberate movements. Faint, though still audible enough in this hush. Until it stops. A moment.
We need to go, Ash. We have to.
And then, a wail. This time, I'm certainly it isn't my mind. I was waiting for her to just, like, drive onto the fucking elevators and, like, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna try and close the doors and we're gonna have to, like, break her hands because she's gonna be, like, trying to pull it open. Oh, no. This time, I'm certain it isn't my imagination. Against my training, my body stiffens. Hands stilly mid-press on the button. Eyes waiting for any sort of movement from further back, and ears strained for the source of the sound. I can't even offer Isabella any reassurances. Much as I hate to admit it, dread has seeped into every nerve of my body. And the blasted elevator still won't work, no matter how many times my thumb presses on it.
This isn't in my fucking training manual.
Ash, we need to leave. I know that sound. Ash, please, get the elevator!
Another series of shuffling against the ground. Oh god, I see her in the distance! Oh no, that's scary! And all of a sudden, she's just there. A small, grotesque form lingering at the far end of the basement, on all fours. Like a twisted spider, she stares at us, a look of hunger in her eyes and venom in the twisted manner she smiles. A glee she has well earned, and when where the damn flies have been dropped right onto the spider's web.
Ashton!
Damn it! Damn it!
Then without warning she moves, mocking us with each slow crawl she takes, knowing we're both at her mercy as she makes her approach.
Fucking hell!
Ashton, the door! The door!
But this isn't funny. Our lives are in the hands of a crummy elevator. Our lives are literally hanging between life and death, whether or not this stupid thing works. We're not going to die here. Not in a damn elevator. Oh. 2, 7, 6, 9, 1. Okay. Oh. 8, 1, 5, 4, 6, 7, 4, 2, 8, 9. Oh. 1, 8, 6. Shit! No! Ah! Don't do this to me! No! Okay, okay. Not in a damn elevator. Okay. 6, 1. Ah! Okay. Eight, 9, 2. I hit 2! 8, 5, 3, 7, 1. 1, 7, 3, 6, 8. Okay, fuck it, I'm skipping. Actually, no. Well, you know what? One more try. One more try. One more try. As if a divine power has heard me swearing up a story in my head, the door is closed just as that thing looms near. I am the divine power you are speaking of. I saved your asses. Soon the elevator, the blasted thing, is headed up. Isabella's knees buckle in relief. In 2 ticks, she's hugging herself without any care for the mess of papers and folders she has dropped on the floor in her panic. She draws in one ragged breath after another, each one brimming with nothing but relief. And this is the most I've been tired my whole damn life. Not during training, when my superior first asked me to drop 100. Not after a stakeout. But after smashing a fucking elevator button repeatedly. I slumped to the ground beside her, worn out. But I don't let myself feel relief again. Not until I'm out of here. Isabella seems to be of the same mind as she looks at me. Still, I find myself sharing a shaky laugh with her.
We're okay. We're fine. Right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Alive.
For now.
Fuck, we should have taken the goddamn stairs.
Twice I've seen it. Thrice if we include the party. Unless I'm tripping balls without realizing it, there's no doubt in my mind that this is actually happening. I seriously don't want to believe it. But with the truth staring me at the face, at me in the face, it'd be stupidity to deny the reality of the matter. As soon as the lift hits the ground floor and the door slides open, we hightail out of the building. Seb's sound asleep when we pass by his station. However, in the face of what we've seen, everything I faced tonight, we really can't care less who will still see us on our way out. The sooner we get away from this place, the farther, the better. I'm just not sure if that also means being safe. She almost got us. Got us, damn it. The fucking thing almost had us. She actually had you like 3 times. Well, I haven't even started everything running inside my head right now. All I can see is her face, her horrid smile as she's about to reach us. Shit, it was only by luck that we managed to get the fucking elevator unstuck. Had the blasted thing not worked in the last second. I need some air. Fresh, breathable air. That doesn't stink like death and gore all at once. I'm panicking. Christ! Losing focus. With another person here, I can't afford that right now. Isabella hasn't said anything, but I know she's more shaken than I am. I can't lose it when another person's depending on me.
Remember your training, Frey.
Another deep breath, and soon, I'm starting the engine and driving us off. After that little incident in the elevator, somewhere open would be good. Someplace we won't get trapped. Luxbourne Park during nighttime brings a welcome relief, though only by some. The chill has seeped in my bones is still there, furling and unfurling underneath my skin. If I don't move, if I don't busy myself with anything soon, my brain will go haywire. It's the last thing I want to happen when there are plenty of things to do. But this is already answers all of it, doesn't it? Those deaths? Just how many copies of the letter are out there? Isabella can't have the only one if other people are also getting cursed. Could it be that the one she has shown us is just one of 5? Maybe even more? That whole past is the 5 people business is ridiculous. But at this point, is it still? That I think is actually a prank. Like the help me stuff is real, but the kids added, like if you guys remember with Marion, she found a camera of kids in the house before it was obviously sold, and they were all killed, but they were like, oh, let's add something, and it was the send this to 5 people thing. All in all, we found 21 people who might have read the letter. 7 of them deceased. 8 if we count Cooper. And that's only what we can find right now. We have no idea how the contractors and specialists hired from outside the company are doing, if we are in any way affected. How many more people are suffering? How many are missing? How many are dead? Can I even blame the Wrights for this anymore? If anything, they might be in danger as well. I don't think I can wish a curse upon anyone, no matter how big of a douchebag Luke Wright is. There's also that woman. How do we get out of this mess? How do we get away from her? You don't. She follows you everywhere! Shit. Still so many things we need to look into. Yet all my body wants to do is pace. Tread the grounds and burn out whatever excess energy there is in me.
Ashton, I'm getting dizzy. Will you sit down?
It's the first time Isabella has said anything. She has been sitting quietly on one of the park benches since we dropped here. Better and less distracted than watching her nervous habits, I suppose. She certainly seems calm now. Too calm, in fact, for someone who has just seen something terrible. But it's been more than a week for her already. People do get desensitized to things at some point, even someone like Isabella. Who knows what's going on inside her head, though? Inside mine? There's too many, and none of them would sit still. I think she's more relieved the fact that you will now believe her.
I'm not going crazy, am I? I saw that. I'm pretty sure I saw that. I didn't inhale anything weird. Just shit. Shit. Isabella, please tell me that wasn't...
What I'm not expecting when I turn to her is mirth. Barely contained as she hugs her arms closer to her body and tries to keep a smile from breaking.
You're laughing. You're laughing. Why are you laughing?
She's possessed too, isn't she? I'm not quite sure what she had seen in my face, but in the next second, laughter suddenly burst out from her. I'm so sorry. It's just that you should have seen the look on your face back there. What happened to my vocals, man? Yes, right, sure. I'm not the only one who panicked. You almost ripped my arm off. Yeah, but Isabella, this isn't funny. That woman almost got us. We could have ended up dead.
I know. I'm
There
really
we go.
sorry. But this is just too precious to miss. You really lost your shit for a moment there.
You're trying to get back at me, aren't you?
Well, I'm not the one who kept calling someone scaredy cat for years. How does it feel?
I'm not scared.
Oh yeah,
Really?
you are.
Because it doesn't seem that way to
You
me.
are totes scared.
At all.
I'm not, alright? I'm just... I just don't know what to do right now.
Immediately after the moment passes, replaced by another tense silence. Laughter dies in her lips as everything sinks in, the awareness of how much bigger trouble looming over us. We're in deep shit, and has finally caught up and hit us like a ton of bricks. Hit me more than anyone. Because she has been warning us since day one, and I'm the first person who brushed it off. Despite that, she still reaches out to me, tugging at my sleeve almost desperately. Her hands are trembling and there's a tremor in her voice when she speaks. Without the cheer, only fear remains. One that she has been burdened with from the beginning.
We're still going to do something about it, right?
Fuck yeah, we
Not
gotta!
to stand around and let that thing get us.
Unexpectedly, she leans her forehead against my arm, and her grip on my sleeve tightens. There's desperation in there, a quiet plea.
Don't want to lose anyone anymore, Ash.
I wish I could give her that promise. But with so many unknowns, so many things I don't understand about this, how can I? Why she still trusts I can do something about this baffles me. It all feels wholly undeserved, considering the way I've treated her. Yet, despite my reluctance, I find myself returning her hold in kind. A grasp, warm and light enough for comfort. Not a promise, but something close to it. October 30th! Alright! Alright, gonna... Woo! Not what I wanted to do. Not even sure why that appeared. Alright. First, we'll check the tree. I don't like this music. This music is kind of creepy. Game over. This is the first one I lost in a while since Isabella's, because Isabella's I just could not do. Like, I just couldn't get it done. Alright. I'm gonna do it to the journal and see what it says. Alright. Oh, 2 new ones. While gathering what they found, Ashton accidentally brought up Isabella's father, who had apparently passed away the day before. Suddenly, her reasons for trying to fix this mess became clear to him. In his attempt to comfort her, he ended up almost admitting something he's not yet ready to put to words. Ashton and Isabella beat a quick exit after getting what they needed, making sure not to leave evidence of their break-in. On the way out, however, the elevator malfunctioned and dropped them in the building's basement parking instead, where a familiar face welcomed them. Alright, so, on this day, let's see. Alright, Rebecca went to the library and found some interesting stuff about the Ermengarde mansion, and then Zachary went to the Wright mansion. So, Hana is possessed already. We don't know much what happened with Luke. And at this point, it's clear that Isabella's been with us this whole time. So Luke is and Marianne, we don't know what happened with her. Because in my playthrough, she's stuck in the fucking hidden basement cellar, like, cell place of the mansion. So, I don't know what happened to her. I don't know if she's dead, or if, like, the cell is somehow protecting her, or what. Darkness blurs the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the far distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off. Ever so slowly, a chill seeps into every nerve in my body, washing away every sensation in me, apart from one. There was only fear. Once again, her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Morning breaks in a blurry mess of vivid shapes and colors. Oddly, there's no feeling of terror or confusion gripping me, despite the vague images that has driven me from sleep. Awareness kicks in shortly, though slow and sluggish, as I blink away the last remnants of unconsciousness from my eyes. The early morning light already stuns from the open windows when the memory sets in and the room finally comes into focus. Isabella's apartment. Pushing myself upright, my eyes wander idly towards her prone form. She's hunched over the coffee table, both her arms under her head while she continues to rest. Then to the chaos of papers and folders we've left scattered over it, before sleep has claimed both of us. We bunkered down here last night, after both our nerves had calmed down, mine for the most part. Staying together was an unspoken invitation. And anyway, I'm pretty sure neither of us wants to remain alone. When there's that woman. Is she still one in the first place? One that we normally call a human? Can it still feel guilt? Does it understand pain?
Fuck. I'd rather get charged for breaking and entering than mess with whatever that thing was any day.
Not that thinking about this still matters, when all our lives are in her hands. She's dangerous. If we don't do anything about her and this curse, we'll definitely be pushing daisies soon. I can't let that happen. I've died on this long enough. Left all my friends in harm's way after the warnings they've all given me. Besides, beneath the terror and the adrenaline that keeps me running, knowing what lies ahead for Isabella makes it too hard not to take action. The paper sitting on the edge of the table calls my attention at this, light against my hand when I reach for it. It has caught my eye the night before, with the lot we still need to go through. I simply ignored it. The logo emblazoned at the top of the page, however, provides this paper a whole new meaning. Not for me, but definitely for her.
A scholarship grant, huh?
I've only ever heard her talk about this once or twice, completing her degree, that is. She rarely goes about it in great detail, preferring to keep it to herself. Perhaps it's the fact that she thinks she's already too old to be chasing after it. It has been 5 years after all, but I've caught enough snippets of conversation between her and Zach to know she has never given up on it. Despite how things have panned out with her father, she's one step closer to this part of her life. As silly as this may sound, coming from a friend, I'd like to give her the chance to have this. But this means stepping out of my comfort zone and figuring out what the deal with this curse is, I'll do so. If only to see that smile on her from that time again. These days, the only moment she appears to show is when she's asleep, like right now, no matter how uncomfortable she appears. A smile on my own forms, despite this, when I glance at her sleeping form again. She hasn't moved since, her shoulders rising and falling in a slow, even rhythm with her breathing. You won't think she has any problems this way.
If only that were true.
Sighing, I place the paper back where I've gotten it, carefully, so I won't accidentally wrinkle or damage it in some way. I finally push myself off my makeshift bed. Isabella shifts when I carry her off from the floor and over to her bed, but doesn't wake. Simply tucks herself comfortably under the covers I pull over her. Briefly, though, she mumbles something to herself and draws in another deep breath.
Becca, Ashton's being dumb again.
She drifts back to a deeper state of sleep after, like it hasn't been interrupted by the slightest movement earlier, but the small smile on her lips remain, when I find myself returning in kind.
Who sleeps like a rock now?
It's better this way. Better to leave her to her dreams for the moment, which I hope are better than the ones I've had. She'll have time to worry about our problems later when she wakes up. For now, this will be another thing I don't want to take away from her. A moment of respite, no matter how fleeting. She deserves it, after everything she's been put through, what I've put her through. In the meantime, I still have 2 other people I need to check with. Isabella would definitely get in a tizzy if I don't check on them. That's right. Rebecca should be there. Not sure where Zach should be. Cold Luxborn air meets me upon stepping out of the hallway. Not unusual in itself. This is what Luxborn's weather is supposed to be. A bit cold, damp for the most part, and more often than not, terribly dry with an occasional sprinkling of rain every few hours. The sky's still clear, but I'll give it a day or two before the weather takes a turn for the worse. I've complained about the awful rains for years, despite having lived here my entire life. I have to admit, though, seeing it return to the usual feels extremely reassuring. At least, something's still normal in the world, but I can no longer think the same for the situation we're in. A nightmare. That's probably all this is. I have no clue. I just heard a really weird sound. Usually I'll say, I've been through worse, but that's probably another lie I often told myself, isn't it? I found myself a great deal of lies through the years, just so I want to think about it the next day. Maybe we won't even have this problem, if I haven't been running away and ignoring things, hiding them someplace no one will see, because I've since believed doing so is a show of weakness.
The fuck do I know about ghosts, though?
What does Zach? What does Rebecca? Z-Man has mentioned dreaming about a woman. Whether it's the same one we've been seeing, I have yet to ask. Bottom line, he likely knows as much about this as I do. You can ask the professor, though. I mean, he can still maybe help. Don't go to the priest. The priest is... He's trying to deal with it himself. Hell, Rebecca's probably in the same boat, grasping for anything that might provide an answer, a way out of this. What can any of us do, when all of us lacks any understanding of what's happening? One thing's clear about this, however. That thing is after us because of the letter. Both Rebecca and Zach have seen it too. She will go after them as well. Yet here I am, walking up Becca's door, one slow step at a time, a stalling tactic to allow myself some time to put the mess in my head in a better order. How to phrase this, when there's a 90% chance she's still pissed about a whole different matter. It's the only reason we didn't check on her last night, aside from the ungodly hour Isabella and I arrived. We'll only alarm her by showing up in her home in the middle of the night, acting like babbling lunatics. And her anger can last quite a while. These days, it seems the only one she can easily forgive is Isabella. But even with her, Becca's fuming still takes hours. I run my hand through my hair and straighten out my jacket before knocking. Once, twice, and 3 times just to make sure she has heard me, even if she's asleep. She's usually awake by now, though.
Hey, Becca, it's Ash. Open up. Don't tell me you're still in bed.
Seconds tick by. She might not be there. No answer from her, and dread has started to creep up. I've been trained to handle dire situations, but the feeling has been doing that quite frequently since last night. My mind begins to anticipate the worst, and the next minute, concern is mixed in with my thoughts, and I bang my fist on the door, louder this time. She'll definitely be livid, but I'd rather face her wrath than a dead body.
Becca, it's Ash. There's something we need to talk about right away. Open up, I know you're...
Your girlfriend left early this morning, pretty boy. So if you could do us a bloody favor and shut up, that'd be real fucking polite.
My hand pauses short of landing another heavy knock. From the other unit, Rebecca's other neighbors peeks in through his door, though I see nothing but a bundle of blankets. Last night they need help from being devoured by these sheets, but it sounds like he's just fine. He's a huge asshole, too. Course of action, so people like him won't ruin your day? Act like the nicest person on the planet. Has done me wonders when I was a rookie patrolling the streets. No need to match his temper.
Oh, did she say where she was going?
I don't know. She said something about meeting someone or something, in case Filipina girl over there asks. Well, what am I, her keeper? You know some people want to sleep in on a bloody Sunday, so keep it down.
I would like to sleep in on a bloody Sunday. I work every Sunday.
Just looking forward to this weekend. Thanks, you damn git.
Well, there's no need to be an ass about it. I'll get out of your...
He slams his door shut without warning, but not before muttering a string of very colorful words at me. Probably thinks I won't hear him inside the 4 walls of his apartment.
Jerk.
Ass. And at the end of it, a sigh. So Rebecca's not here. I must have missed her by an hour or so. But at least she's out alone. She should be safe. In theory. More so, if the person she's meeting with is who I'm thinking. Nevertheless, I still can't help but worry. It's an easy thing, continuing down increasingly darker lines of thought. To act brashly, to find out where she is and go straight there, without deliberating on my actions first. There's Zach to boot. Becca's not alone, but I can't say the same for the big guy. A simple phone call to both of them should do the trick. It'll ease my nerves at any rate. It's better than rushing over to Zach's place or assuming Rebecca's whereabouts, and finding out they're not where I guess they should be. Assuming the worst will come next, which I'd rather avoid this early. Any other reason, I won't bother them, but an emergency begs for urgency. So, at this point, if I would have kept with Zach going to jail and what happened with him dying, he would probably call Zach and not get an answer because they would have confiscated his phone. If he did get an answer, they'll be like, I'm sorry, or, fine, we'll go, this could be his one phone call, and they'll be like, oh my god, he's dead. Where's his eyes? His eyes are gone! Who killed him? And then Rebecca, I think she's not at the I think she's at the library by now. Assuming the worst will come next. Okay, I read that. This is one, right? Even if it isn't, anxiety from concern dulls judgment. Something I most certainly can't afford to lose at any given time, especially right now. Any means to calm it will do wonders for the muddled mess my mind is already in. Pulling out my phone, I thumb through the screen until it ends up on a group with only Zach's, Rebecca's, and Isabel's numbers listed. Other people will say I keep too few friends when they chance on this. To some extent, it's true. Hey, I don't have any friends. I don't have any contacts in my phone. What does that tell you? I can easily name about 100 people I've been acquainted with through the years. Colleagues, blockmates from uni, neighbors, those sort of people. You all come and go. But these three have chosen to stay for some reason, without wanting or asking for anything. Unlike the others, none has Zach's kindness, Rebecca's patience, or the sincerity in Isabella's eyes. One day, these guys are just there. The next thing I know, being with them eases it. That heavy, somber feeling lingering in the air when you stand alone in your apartment, or something as simple as spending your day off without anyone. I'll say it's loneliness, but this carries much more depth than that. If I can help it, I don't want to lose any of them to some stupid curse. A phone call may be the least comforting thing at the moment. Honestly, I prefer being in the same room with them right now, but I'll take what I can get. Becca first. She'll get angry at me for worrying about her. She isn't some helpless damsel in distress after all. No, she is not. She is far from that. She isn't the shy little girl I knew when we were children. We're already far from the people we were back then, but that's more than enough reason to check in on her. I don't have to imagine her taking anything head on. She'll do it instead of asking for help when she needs it. I don't care if she gets mad at me. I have only to know that she's fine. A ring. In the silence of the hallway, its sound alone might as well be sharp enough to pierce through my ears. Another second passes. 2. 3. But when, on the 9th ring, it goes straight to her voicemail, a cold feeling instantly lodges in my stomach.
Rebecca Gales here. You've reached my voicemail. Sorry if I can't get to you right now. Oh, and if this is Isabella, yes, you're free to reheat the food in my fridge. Otherwise, leave a message.
Probably just busy, that's all. Though I still barely manage to keep my voice even when I speak.
Hey, Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
Becca will be alright. Is alright. She's safe. She's with someone else. In the event that woman shows up, she'll have someone with her. Someone she'll be able to ask for help. She's safe. She can handle herself. Becca might have a fiery temper, but she knows when she's faced with something she can't handle herself. Rebecca will see my missed call and she'll call me back. Though I don't express it enough. Rebecca is someone I consider important to me. Aww, look at her glasses. She's adorable. She's been my friend for the longest. Far too long that anybody else would have been fed up with me and left. The girl stuck by me, no matter how big of a jerk I've been. There's Zach and Isabella now, too, of course. I'll always be thankful for having them around. The worst times before, however, Becca was there. No one believes it when I say it, but I'm sure they had my awful moments as a bratty kid and as a horrible teen. Issues. I've too many of them to count and refuse to deal with for a time. At least, that's what Andrew likes to tell me. I tend to think nothing of it. It has mellowed down over the years, thanks to the professor mostly. But at times, I do wonder if it still burdens me the way it did all those years ago. After all, I was terrible, especially around the time of my parents' separation. Looking back at it now, I had no reason to direct all my frustrations towards everyone else. While I wasn't a kid who lashed out at anyone, preferring to keep it to myself and turning those negative feelings into more productive things. I've grown distant from a lot of people because of it, from my old friends back in my old school and the neighbors I've hung out with before moving. A habit I've likely brought with me into adulthood. I was just so angry with everyone and everything. All I could think about was myself, wondering why me. In retrospect, I was selfish. In retrospect, I was a selfish little bastard who thought the world revolved around me. That I shouldn't have been going through it. I believed my behavior was entitled, that I had the right. Tough times, but she stuck with me. Snapped me out of my little sulk, as she often phrases it, whenever she sees the chance to bring it up. She didn't tolerate my bullshit, but she didn't leave me alone either. If anything, the whole thing made her stick around. Her concern may have grown a bit overbearing as the years went by, but she's still an old friend nonetheless. I owe her a lot. That won't change.
Damn it. Where are you, Becca?
Now, if you will just... If she would just tell you how she feels, and then you tell Isabel how you feel, then you guys can, like, figure out what the hell to do. Another message left on her voicemail. Then on my third call, I hung up. For the time being, I can't do anything more than to wait for her to return my calls. Worrying aimlessly won't get me anywhere. Zach, on the other hand, that guy attracts trouble no matter how much he tries to avoid it. Doesn't help how he hasn't been too hot lately with a lot of people. His mention of plans yesterday doesn't sit too well with me either. He might be the next responsible adult after Rebecca out of the four of us, but I still gotta check on the big guy. Make sure he's doing okay at the very least, whatever he has planned on doing. All I'm asking is for it to not be idiotic. He's a sensible guy, I'm sure. However, desperation claims it pushes people to do things. Rational or irrational, it doesn't matter. Clear thinking flies out the window the moment you're in danger, and I sincerely hope he has not found himself in a tricky situation. His phone doesn't even ring before he answers, or his voicemail at least.
Hey, it's Zach. Well, a voicemail anyway. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So, just leave a message, yeah? And no, Ash, you're not allowed to lockpick your way into my apartment again. Just do what any other decent human being does and call if I'm not around. Thanks.
Did he turn it off? Why? I don't want to assume the worst yet. Maybe he has forgotten to change it? Or charge it? Can't be. The guy can be a bit of a Boy Scout, even more than I am as a cop. He's the type who has an extra battery or a power bank in his bag, if he ever needs it. And he always does. He won't say anything or brag about it, but he's got a quite roster of VIP freelance clients. He just won't leave his phone dead in case he's on the field, particularly when people will likely be looking for him. He always leaves the connection open whenever clients or his friends need him. Zach is reliable like that.
Why isn't anyone answering?
His mobile in an out-of-range area sounds more plausible, though the thought of it doesn't completely shake off the unease, because he's at the mansion. Unlike Rebecca and I, he took the time to listen to what Isabella said, and even if he didn't believe it, he was definitely the first one to offer help or to try to do something. If he ends up trouble doing whatever it is, so help me, I'm going to. Well, I can't be rash. I'm aware of that. Been running the same reminder in my head since last night. But if something happens, I'm certain my reaction won't be pretty.
Yo, Zach, call me back, alright? I wanted to check in and, yeah, just please call me back.
It's usually a joke between us when I say he's the Watson to my Sherlock. I don't see him as some assistant to put aside until he's needed, like some people like to believe, though. He's not some pity friend I keep around to make myself look good.
If anything, he's the one who stayed by me out of pity.
Zach's the one who puts up with me most of the time, even when he doesn't need to. It's not a case of a cool cop who helped out a minority. In truth, I was a hard-headed, hot-tempered, and reckless rookie. Up until I met him. It wasn't anything sudden, and some part of me is still that rookie. But I've grown, thanks to him. He tempers that part of me. Considering how our first impression went, I'm lucky he stuck around. Beck and I may have spent a lot of years together as children, but Zach, he's probably the closest thing I'll call to a best friend. Though it's more than that, a camaraderie? I don't know. No words can express. He has my back and I'll always have his. He's a brother I've never had the luck of ever having. Only child and all.
And I have every reason to worry about my brother.
Becca's neighbor did say she wanted to be with someone, no specific names. If I'm wrong and she's not with Professor Clark, then maybe it's with Zach. She did meet with the professor. That's right, he did, because he said about bear claws, and I was like, we call them apple fritters here. Oh god, how do I remember from that stupid thing? They've never been close, but it's not the kind of awkward friendship where meeting together remains out of the question. Regardless, I continued dialing for his phone another 3 times, like I've done with Becca's. In the end, after the 3rd attempt with no one answering, I stopped and moved to cut the call with a ragged exhale.
Waiting game it is, then.
I've been trained for those. Hell, I'm used to them. Just not when it comes to people I'm close to. Much as I keep reminding myself to maintain a level head, it's a whole different matter when it's someone you know. Personal feelings will likely get involved at some point. It's starting now, actually, with anxious strings coiling and uncoiling, causing a racket inside my stomach. And that's exactly when the line finally connects. Before he even speaks, my question has already slipped out, including every pent-up worry and tension in my body.
Where are you?
The line's choppy, though I can still make out the word he's saying. Nothing to worry about then. He's just someplace where network coverage is shitty. Can't imagine where at this time of the morning, though. Did he go out for a jog?
What was that, Ash? Could you repeat that? Signal shitty here.
I asked, where are you? Hell, Zach, I've been calling your number for a good 20 minutes now. What kind of shithole did you get into?
I meant to sound that as friendly as possible, to keep things light, at least. Instead, only the frustration shows in my tone.
Good morning to you, too. I should be asking you that question. I've been looking all over the mansion for you. I thought you'd be...
What mansion?
Do I really need to answer that?
Why are you even...
Please don't tell me that that's his plan. Morning visit to the mansion? Where Luke Wright is? Of all the pig-headed things to do right now, it's the best thing he can come up with? Breaking and entering? I've got a plenty of reasons to rail at him right now. Although no matter how much I want to give him a piece of my mind, unfortunately, it's not the time.
No. No, wait. Just get your ass to Isabella's place and hurry.
He pauses a moment, a second of indecision while he seems to contemplate his options.
How urgent is this?
In truth, the question, the hesitance and the indecision in his voice, has caught me completely off guard, and understanding dawns on me. His decision to go there isn't one out of born a stupid impulse. He must have found something. However, no matter how urgent it is, he still shouldn't have gone there, alone at that. Despite myself, in that split second of comprehension, I allow it to show. A weakness. A simple request brimming with every unease and disquiet, causing turmoil within me since last night. It bears a selfish hope that he'll understand, even through the unstable signal, that whatever's keeping him there, he'll be willing to set it aside for now.
Pressing enough for you to stop asking questions and get yourself here. Please, Zach.
Silence fills the other end of the line again. For a long moment, I assume he won't heed it, and I'll have to drive there myself, just to drag him away from whatever danger he's skirting. Thankfully, he agrees.
I'll be there in a few. An hour or two tops.
Thanks. I'll see you.
Relief washes over me as soon as the call ends. Normally, I don't let myself a moment of respite in times like this. Gotta stay alert. Rebecca's still out there, has yet to return any of my messages. But for the moment, I relish in it. This is probably the first time I've permitted myself to do so since last night. Even the muscles in my shoulders have been complaining from all the tension I've taken on. And I'm going to end this right here. Alright, let's see where we at. Oh god, we haven't moved that far. Oh god, Ash, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls! Anyways, I'm gonna leave this off here. Next episode, we might have a meeting of everyone because it seems like he's trying to get everyone to come in together. Yeah, it seems like we're gonna be going to this bottom route a lot more than either like these two for a while, I think. Yep. Holy shit. Then we skip. Oh god, Ash. Ash, why? How does this happen? Why are there like freaking 7 different routes? Holy fuck balls. God, it's gonna take forever. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a comment if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!
Yep, this is him. Folks at the precinct said they went to his house after a noise complaint. They found him just acting all crazy. Had to take him in when he started getting violent. He kept screaming about a woman.
Immediately she stiffens. I don't want to bring it up or imply a connection to Isabella's story, but it is exactly what happened.
It was driving